It's like I'm trying to, the PowerPoint, what did, I'm sorry, Mandy, can you hear me?
Yes, I apologize. What you'll want to do is actually switch over to PowerPoint on your screen. We'll still see your PowerPoint, and then you can switch through the presentation mode as you normally would in PowerPoint. And go to from beginning and the slide from beginning slideshow. Use your arrows to go to the next slide now. Yes, we've got it. Okay. Disaster averted.
Okay, what is the secret to success? And I really like this because everyone needs to have some form of secret to help them to become successful, whether it's organization, whether it's preparation, whether it's having a good mindset. So planning and preparation are definitely the two key secrets to success. Student achievement begins with an end in mind for the teacher. It takes a plan of expedition to execute greatness in the community of the classroom. And what I'm saying there, when you look at the end result, you're trying to develop a pathway, a roadway that will get you to that end result. So we look at that roadmap, we say, what are the tools and techniques that we need that can be provided for us or that we need to come about a purchase or research or find on our own that will help us get to that end result. And I'm going to provide you some of those tools and techniques. Who do you need to know? Get to know the principal in the school. It could be more than one. The assistant principals, the secretary, the guidance counselors, the custodians, cafeteria workers, media specialists, resource staff, teachers, and stakeholders. That's basically everyone. So you spend those few days either doing pre-planning or doing a summer vacation, just getting to know them. Whether you're just coming by to say hello, sending an email, as you're stopping in to work on your classroom or to gather resources or begin to prepare and plan, you might just want to ask them a couple of questions on where are you from, how long have you been in this particular setting, maybe where different resources and materials are located. How can you find something if needed? And for me, what I've always found to be very interesting is knowing the cafeteria workers and the custodians. They seem to know everything, along with the bookkeeper and the secretary. You can get valuable information, things that you didn't even think you might need, whether it's things to clean your classroom if you needed to clean your classroom, finding extra paper, how much your lunch will cost. All these things work together to help you become that great teacher and to be prepared, because when you're prepared and when you feel good about who you are and what you're doing, then the classroom will run much more smoothly as well. The stakeholders include those who affiliate and work with the school system as well, including the parents, those who have partnerships with the school, the PTA members. All of those are key people to know. In addition to that, know the school procedures. How is attendance taken? That is very important because attendance is very key. You have to know who's in the classroom, who's there, and also be able to report that information. And usually as a new teacher or either a returning teacher, those first 2 days you may have some computer technical difficulties, and so you need to be able to record that information and provide that information as needed. So this is a key question. I know I got to take attendance. I need to know who's in my classroom, and how do I record and report this information? Are there any specific discipline referral forms that you may need? Where are they located? Do I report this data via internet, by the computer, or do I keep hard copies? And also, am I keeping this information for myself, for my own records? Who gets them? And what are the procedures for doing referrals if needed? How is money collected? That is very key, because you don't want to find yourself running into a situation where you shouldn't have the money, or certain amounts of funding should not be reported to you, or you don't want to be able to maybe house money that you shouldn't have housed within the classroom or the school building, who money should be turned into. These were very key things for me years ago that I just didn't know, and really didn't even think about asking until I started receiving. So it's just good to know once money is returned in, because 9 times out of 10, they're paying for PTA dues, or they're purchasing a T-shirt for the school. Just little things. You might have a school store, fundraiser going on. Well, okay, what do I do with the money that I'm receiving? Where receipt was located, and am I responsible for receiving one myself? And with this, I'm saying keep data, keep a record. You might want to journal daily what you're doing so that you can go back and recall What's happened? Okay, I received PTA money from Susan and Joe on Monday. So, and you might put it in the envelope until you're able to figure out, well, where does money go? Who do I turn it to? The PTA president? Do I give it to the secretary? Does the money report to the administrator in the building, the bookkeeper? So you have a little journal to refer back to, okay, I have $14. I collected $7 from 2 different students, and these are the students. Just so you can, because you're inundated with so much information those first few days of school, you might forget. So the little journal will help you be able to keep up the money. And then you always want to keep it locked up until you're able to get a secure answer, because you're responsible once that money hits your hand. And then what are the procedures for fire drills and tornado drills? I can remember my first year, these drills were happening, and they give you all this information during pre-planning. And mind you, the administrative staff and instructional staff that's overseeing and helping you, they have a lot of information they need to give out to you as well. So some key procedures and information may go overlooked. And so your grade chair is probably busy getting her room together and getting to know her kids, and everyone's trying to get into the groove and grind of understanding what they're doing for the school year. These little things may go overlooked, or you didn't pay close attention to. Do you just kind of want to have those procedures in place? You know, do I exit to the left or exit to the right for the tornado drill? For the fire drill, we going out building A or going out building B? You know, do I keep my kids with me? What if I have a kid that's in a nurse, or a student that's absent that day, or maybe I have a child that went to the bathroom? What are the procedures that I need to keep in mind and keep in place if I have a student that's not in place, or if I'm not in place at that particular moment? And then also having those procedures and policies available if just in case you're not there that particular day. Where are you housing this information? Know the protocols. Where to get classroom supplies. I've been in several different schools throughout my 14 years of education, and each school is very different. Sometimes the supplies are housed in the parent center. Sometimes they bring supplies to you the first week of school. I've even been in schools where it wasn't available for me, so I had to realize I had to go out and purchase some of my own things. And so you just want to know, am I receiving supplies? Or if I need some of the basic supplies, do I go to the bookkeeper? Is there a form I need to fill out? Just some basic questions you would ask. What are the procedures for checking out, for student checkout and tardies and absences? This is another thing that I would keep in my journal. I usually journal every day, and now it's such a habit for me. I journal regardless, but when I'm at work, I make sure I write down key things that if I had to recall that information, I can go back and refer to it. So on July the 14th, I realized that Sammy had to check out early. So I just want to make a little note of that so that I can keep in mind, okay, Sammy checked out early. They called for him to come down to the front office. They said the mother was there to pick him up. So just in case if anything ever comes back, I can recall that information. I can recall that I was there that particular day, the student left early on that particular day, and just in case I need to go back at the end of the day and transfer that data into the computer system. I know here in Georgia we use Infinite Campus, and we have to record that data on an online system for a number of reasons. So it helps me to just keep an additional record of that information, because that's vital information about the student's attendance. Who has the substitute list? That's very key. And how subs are contacted. How do I record? Do I need a substitute? And where do I keep my substitute folder information available so that I can be prepared when I'm not in place? And we never know when emergencies may occur. I have 2 little ones, and so and it doesn't matter how much I prepare for that day. Somebody might wake up with a little fever or a stomach ache. And so I just want to make sure I have things in place just in case I have to have a sub in the building. What is the policies for work days? Leave days and snow days. We paid close attention here to the news on TV as well as the radio news to pay attention if the school is closed for that particular day or if there's a delay. But just what's the school policy? Is there a school tree where you'll be contacted by your grade chair or the principal? And then also for yourself, who do you report to? In my different experiences, sometimes we had to either report to the grade chair who was going to be absent or late, or we had to report directly to the principal. And in my past situation, the principal wanted us to send her a text if we was going to be absent. So just knowing those small little details that each community, each school culture is different so that you can know when you enter your environment. And what about extracurricular duties? You might have lunchroom duty, or either morning duty where you can make sure the students are reporting to class, okay, or afternoon duty, making sure they get on the bus or the car. And sometimes this information is given to you, but in some cultures, it's understood. And so in my experience, I realized that it's better for me to just go ahead and ask. We wait at the door for the students to enter, and is there a bell to let us know we all can go in, or can we just go ahead and start our school day so students enter to the classroom, and I'm just responsible for being at the door for dismissal, just little details like that. Know your classroom. Seating arrangements, there are many different options. I left 3 of them on here for you: the chevron, the traditional classroom style, and the theater style. I've utilized all 3, and I've also have put my students in groups as well, based on their capabilities and their learning abilities as well. And so you have to determine, based on your students and also based on the expectation of the leadership in the building, what's the best seating arrangement for your class and for your teaching style, and realizing that you're different from the teacher next door. So you have to get to know your students, know what is expected from them and what you expect to give them, to know what type of best environment you're going to have for them. And this changes based on grade level as well. This is more for upper grade level. But if you're in a primary setting, you usually have them in groups. There's a lot of interaction between the different students, and so group setting is usually the key for that particular age group. And then you kind of go to one of these particular settings when you get towards testing. But you have to know your environment and what suits best for your type of students. Prepare yourself for each day. As I mentioned earlier, keep a journal. I take a few minutes no matter what each day and journal my day, whether it's highlights, things I can improve on, or just key important information, because trust me, 9 times out of 10, you always have to refer back to something. Even during parent conferences, sometimes I have to pull out my journal, and if what I do, I use either different highlights or different sticky notes if I'm journaling little pieces about students that I need to keep in it as key, or if it's something I need to transfer over maybe into a discipline log book or into my instructional data notebook, just information like this. I can be able to refer back to that data and give concrete information. Prepare yourself for each day. Another key thing, a personal appointment calendar. The calendar is very key. There's always so many dates. There's professional development dates. There's grade level planning. You have the faculty meeting. You might have PTA night and instructional day. There's always so much going on. So for me, as a working parent, I end up merging my teaching calendar along with my personal calendar, just so I can know, okay, I need to take my son to the doctor on this day, but that evening I have PTA. Because you get to going, you're well into the school year, you're well into your personal life, and next thing you know, you have to remember, oh, I had an appointment meeting with the parent at 5, but I got to take my son to the doctor at 3, so I got to make sure I can juggle that time, or maybe I need to reschedule that particular parent meeting, or either reschedule that appointment. So the calendar for me works for every year. And you know what I've done over the 14 years, and this is because it was told to me, I have kept each calendar every year. Now, mind you, over the years, you don't even need it anymore, but it helps me to just even go back and do personal reflections and to see how I've grown as an individual and as a teacher, and just to see all the different things I've done, because then I can go back, especially as you're resume developing and looking at telling other people about your career path. I can say, well, my first year, I was able to learn 3 different things because I took ESOL training, and by my 3rd year, achieved Teacher of the Year, and I was able to use reflective data for my own personal calendars and journals just to see what I've done. So I love that type of documentation. And you know that's key for education anyway, just keeping documentation. A personal survival kit, I tell you, never fails. For me, either I'm going to get hungry, I'm going to need some change just to get maybe something out of the vending machine, or maybe my skirt may have a little cut or slit in it, you know, I rubbed against the door a little bit and there was a little splinter, or either the staple was sticking out the wrong way. It's always something. And of course the breast mints and tissues and personal items that you may need. That survival kit works for me all the time. And even on some long days that I may have to stay at school, and I realized that. For me, I like to feel refreshed. You might want to also keep your just personal hygiene products in there if you want to brush your teeth. Or maybe you step out with your colleagues for lunch and you don't have time to go back home, depending upon how far you stay away from school, just to have those personal items with you. And even this past year, because I worked as a coach, I kept an extra set of clothing as well, because I would find myself after school doing other activities or whatever, and so I wanted to make sure I had an extra set of clothes just in case I needed to do other errands, either stay for a PTA program or not. And then make sure you have a sturdy bag. I now use a roller case as well as a bag. And you just never know what you might want to bring home. And 9 times out of 10, you bring so much home and, you know, bringing over the same items right back to work. But at times you're going to those items if you lesson planning, or if you're looking at your instructional strategies, or if you're trying to analyze data, just have something sturdy so you're not carrying around things on your arms. My first 2 years, I used to carry so much just in my arm, and then my a good colleague of mine told me, hey, look, just get you a little roller cart. It's good on your shoulders, it's good on your health, and you'll see in the long run, especially back to the type of things you need, the right type of shoes. And these are some things you just don't think about. You're doing a lot of movement, and you're walking, and go ahead and invest in some things that make you feel good for the rest of the school year. Final quick checklist, plan for your bulletin boards. I love looking online at different bulletin boards, and you can use your own creativity. Decide where you want to post announcements, menu, and calendar. Being consistent with these things really helps. Being organized and consistent really helps. And when I go in to help new teachers each year, I always try to help them become organized. Organization, it works for them throughout the whole school year. If you can, because if you're organized with it, and for instance, if you're not there a particular day, the students can tell you right off the bat, oh, Miss Solomon keeps that calendar right near the door. Her lesson plans are always on her desk. It just becomes routine, and it helps you feel better. It lets the day run smoother, and you're able to find information without being all over the place. Decide where you want to post announcements, menu, and calendar. Stated that. Prepare a welcome back display. The students always feel warm and welcome when they can either see their name listed, or they see something that says welcome to first grade, or welcome to fourth grade, or something fancy. Maybe we're all a part of the puzzle. It's so many cute ideas now that you can use. Designate boards for subject area work and boards for students to design as well. I know that in some kinds, in some school systems, it's important that they have instructional boards up. They may have to have commentary work on the board as well. But there's always space to show different subject area work, and also boards for students can say they can take an ownership and a part of the school, of the classroom as well. It becomes their community as well. Decide where you want to display the students' original work. I at times encourage teachers to display the work on the board, but also to keep personal portfolios, whether it's required or not by the administration, to keep personal portfolios of their students' work. It's key. If it's not required, it becomes a little keepsake for the students to take home at the end of the school year. And if it is required, it really helps with your parent conferencing. Create signs for your room to help the students learn the classroom rules and routines and rituals. This is very key, because if they can see it and you can revisit it and it's expected and it's a part of the routine, daily routine, it becomes a part of them. For that particular school year, it becomes a part of them. And you will see the culture of the classroom really meeting the needs of your expectations. Prepare your class roles and permanent records. This is very key too. This helps you to still become organized. I always invest in 3 ring binders, at least 4 or 5 each school year, especially when I was in the classroom. I have my discipline logbook. I have my instructional logbook, keeping my instructional data. I keep the test scores if I need it, just personal common assessments in the classroom. Any type of major assignment, I just record that information. I also keep notebooks, of the students' work, their portfolios as well. Just anything that would help me to either become a better teacher or also help the student to see and become a better student as well. And it's great documentation. I love the student name tags for desks. Students get to know each other. They feel like they're part of the classroom. You can either pre-print them, make them, or have the students to make them. It's a great activity to get to know the students as well. And then the final quick checklist, prepare a take-home package for the students. That includes the emergency forms, contact information for you, how they can contact you. A little blurb about yourself, could be, about your family life or your years of expertise in education and your expectation and goals for the student as well as the parent. Of course, a supply list, the bus and transportation rules and information, and a welcome message to the parents requesting for room parents. You always want to take, whether it's a one-room parent or many, just have them to take an integral role and have a part within the classroom as well, so they can feel like they are part of this journey. And then set up a file for the subsequent case of emergency, which we mentioned earlier, and always keep that daily schedule. That's the first thing when subs come in the building, they want to know, well, what's the schedule for this particular classroom, and they're looking around the classroom. So we try to make sure it's pretty standard, and this goes back to being organized, just having it in your personal portfolio, your binder on your desk, maybe it's on the wall near your desk, or even by the door, so that the particular person in the classroom can know what the schedule is for the day and just a seating chart just in case. Keeping things consistent. Having reproducible activities available. This could be, we all have those moments it's just not a good day, or either we're trying to do some type of remediation or additional achievement work for the students. So just having those extra reproducible activities available, not just worksheets, but just information that the students can do, like ankle work, that they can keep going and flourishing in their education, just in case if you need a moment of reprieve, or if you're trying to catch up on something, or it's just one of those particular days for you. Obtain a copy of the state and district curriculum standards. This is very key, and we try to encourage our teachers to do this during the summertime, because it gives them an opportunity to get the information they need for what they'll be teaching, and so they can kind of begin their instructional planning for the school year. Write tentative lesson plans for the coming week. I always try to do those lesson plans and encourage the teachers to do their lesson plans at least 2 weeks prior to. And it's just that it's a lesson plan. It's a plan that you have in mind. Now, I know that some administration wants you to go straight by the lesson plan. And then there's some that give you leeway, and you just got to know the culture and the community of the school, and this is where you ask questions and to obtain that type of information. Make copies of the materials that you're handling out during the first few days. You can do that during pre-planning. Just be prepared. You never want to go in, and I even encourage our veteran teachers, just don't go in that particular day trying to make copies of the work that you need on that day. Just that way you don't feel rushed, you don't feel inundated with material, and it gets you off task for what's really important for that day. So if you can plan ahead and make those copies that you need, you'll feel better about your day. So if there's a day or two that you're not able to get to the copier machine, or if someone is running copies for you, you don't have to worry about not having your things available. Write your name and other important class information on the board. This is always key. And as a child, I know we remember this. You always looking for that key information on the board. You know, what's my teacher name, and what am I supposed to do next? And that first day is real critical. Okay, why am I here, and how is the school year going to be? So it's always good to have the students do some type of reflection activity that you can share once the day kind of settle and you get those key things done for that particular moment and for that particular day. And make a checklist of return forms. This is very key. You get the discipline log book return. They want to know how the students are getting home, you know, what the students, how they will be taking care of their food for the school year. Just different key forms that you get, forms that you may even send out yourself. Just having a checklist of return so you can stay organized. And this is when you're going to use those gem clips and having your binders and your folders together on your desk so you can refer right to this information. I'm telling you, organization is the key. I wanted to share with you also, you have to know who you are as a teacher leader. And when we get new teachers in the building, whether they're brand speaking new or whether they're veteran teachers and they're just looking for a change and it just so happens to be at our school, I always, and this is why I created this book about being a servant leader. We all have some form of leadership style. We all are leaders, no matter what. Even if you don't have all the information, you're still a leader. You're a leader within your classroom, and you're basically a leader within the community of the school. And as a leader, you need to know what type of leader you are. And so you have the lion, the eagle, the alligator, and the deer. And I just basically took the words leader and realize that we all have some form of this characteristic within us, and try to help you identify what type of leader you are. And I know we've taken, and if you haven't, there's so many different types of leadership tests that are out there, especially one I really like, which is the colors. But this is just a little different spin on it. And so each year, my principal thankfully allowed me to give the teachers during pre-planning the leadership test. They can identify what type of leader they are. And so jokingly through the school year, we'll say, okay, that's the lion, because the lion want to keep things going and they like things organized and on time. So it's just a little joking. It keeps everything healthy and happy, and just to realize that if that person that you're working next door to is just a little different than you, maybe that particular teacher likes to have the music playing to the day and you hear it sometimes and maybe it aggravates you, or maybe the teacher on the other side has a very loud voice and your voice is calm, just realizing that everybody brings something great and different to the table, and how can you appreciate what they bring. And so if you're a lion, and I know we might have some lions on the phone, you're very detail-oriented, you're service-oriented, you value family traditions, you're helpful and trustworthy, and you can read some of the other ones. So the lion likes things to be on point, on schedule, on time, very articulate in its work. Then we have the eagle attributes: spontaneous, competitive, risk taker, takes limits, a master negotiator, creative, and unbeknownst to you, that's what I am. I'm an eagle. I come in and I'm excited. I'm like, how can we do this? How can we work together as a team and be the best? We not only want to be the best in the school area, we want to be best in the district, best in the actual state, and we're just working towards becoming better. And when you have that type of energy, your students have that type of energy too. And so this year, even though I'm in a new environment, the principal said, well, we're going to do this for the students as well, because they need to know they're leaders too. You have student leaders as well. The alligator attributes: intellectual, independent, perfectionist, visionary, cool, easy to go, easy, calm going. Just kind of smooth with it. And you also have that type of leader in your school building. Their attributes: a mediator, optimistic and passionate, has a kind word each day. And we usually, as teachers, all have their dear attributes. We care, and that's probably why we got into the profession. We care about students and want to see them just be their very best. And so, initially we come with that type of attribute, and you might see that you have more than one. And then also knowing the downfalls of being a lion. Sometimes and we may see this in administration, they may come across as rude or maybe defiant a little bit, running away and dropping out, not really, having enough time for you. But once you have the appreciation of their attributes, then you can say, okay, I realize that this is the type of leader I'm working with. Maybe, as I said, your administrator, let me pick a different time to go speak to them. Maybe lunchtime is not a great time to ask them this question about a student in my class, or maybe after school is not a good time to talk about the discipline referral. Maybe I need to send an email. So you begin to learn the culture of the people around you. Downfalls of being an eagle: attention-getting behavior. You might see that on your hallway. The teacher that comes with the colorful attire, and that's me, or they have the students creating something in the hallway, or they'll bring the guest speaker in that's very loud. But also they may have some withdrawal where they're by themselves, they need that downtime. But you'll begin to know that, okay, well, my colleague, during lunchtime, she doesn't eat with us because she needs those 30 minutes just to kind of, pull back a little bit so she can bounce back. So you begin to not take things so personally. The downfalls of the alligator: refusal to comply or cooperate, refusal to communicate, the silent treatment. But you begin to know, okay, but this person is also easygoing. So if they need a moment and they're not saying too much during a grade level meeting, they may not take that personally. Downfalls of being a deer: maybe they're complaining and self-pity. And usually those who give so much, at times they may suffer from some type of worry as anxiety, or have fatigue because they've done so much, or maybe a little depression because they're taking on a lot. But just knowing how to balance that. So if you have that emotional teacher on your grade level, or maybe you're the one, just knowing, okay, I just need a few moments to reprieve and bounce back, but I'm going to come back strong. So that way you're not hard on yourself too. That's another reason of knowing your downfalls. So you're not hard on yourself. You know that I can bounce back and still be great the next moment or the next day. Then having success with the lions: remember to be on time. That's very key, and we usually see that in administration. They want you there on time and in place on time. Try to be extra organized and efficient, having your things in place. They're not in your classroom looking for your lesson plans, and they're inside a binder, underneath the table, in a bag or something, but you have them out, they're visible. I even had one teacher 3 years ago. She would have a observation chair, and it was so sweet. She had a little observation chair with a nice little note about herself, and she also had the different charts on the desk so that the administrator, when they came into observe, they knew exactly where to go. It was so cute. Everyone knew the observational desk was for those who would come in and observe the classroom. They're generous, but like things return, being dependable and loyal. Having success with the Eagles, be active with them, be spontaneous with them, try to have a little fun with them. This is a part of you getting to know each other and just understanding each other and understanding each other's strengths as well as weaknesses. Having success with alligators, being aware of their curiosity with life, respect their need for independence. And 9 times out of 10, you have so many, you will have different types on your grade level. So knowing that, okay, well, this person maybe won't do the social hour with us on Friday evening, but it's okay. You know, they're still a part of the team. How can I welcome them in? How can I be a part of their circle and just appreciate them for who they are, even at a distance? And having success with dares, being aware that they wear their heart on their sleeve, so you want to be cautious of how you say things, just saying things in love and listen to them and as they listen to you, and being able to share thoughts and feelings with them and praise their imagination and creativity. Because you will always have some people in the building who will go the extra mile and do more, and that's how they receive their affirmation. So they want to receive that gratification from you, and just good job or thank you or we appreciate that, or just the acknowledgement of their hard work. And then working with lions. Other sea lions is rigid, controlling, opinionated at times, system-bound. Choose to see them as being stable, providing security, dependable, and efficient. They could be a grade chair, they can be the instructional liaison for the school, or the academic coach, or your principal, or assistant principals. And even one of the teachers as well. Working with eagles. Other sea eagles is irresponsible at times, not serious when they should be, only do what they enjoy, but we choose to see them as fun-loving, enjoying life, proficient and capable, making you laugh, problem solvers, and good negotiators. And we always need that good negotiator, someone that when you have that irate parent or the parent is disappointed or just having concerns, come to the building, someone who can bring that person back to a sense of reasoning and allow them to be heard and to leave with a good impression about the school and yourself as well as the administration. Working with alligators. Others see alligators as arrogant and heartless at times, don't care about people, think they're superior over others. But we choose to see them as tough-minded, efficient people who are creative and visionary, and who are visionaries and who are original as well as unique. Working with deers. Others may see deers as over-emotional, bleeding heart, too tender-hearted, too touchy-feely kind of people. You know, wants to hug and embrace and come in the morning with that big old smile on their face and good morning, you know. But we choose to see them as caring and compassionate people, see them with potential for others and willing to work with a cause, and just not selfish people, always concerned about other people. And this brings you to a little bit more about myself, which is an Ignite, Inspire, and Instruct. And that's what I do as serving as an academic coach for 3 years in the profession, and realize I'm always encountering that first few days of school that all teachers come with some anxiety about or just a little anxious over. I realize that if you are taking care of yourself and if you're happy with who you are and knowing that if you didn't make that mark today, that tomorrow is a new day for you and you still have a new opportunity. And with all students, no matter if it's primary, middle school, or high school, they don't necessarily hold things. They're easy to let it go and to be forgiving and loving and caring. They come back with a smile on their face, and you should do the same thing. And we realize we don't want to be hard on ourselves. We just want to take each day as a learning opportunity to do better. But the key thing is just being organized and being prepared and being ready and having a good feeling. Your emotions and how you feel will help you be a better instructor and teacher for the day. And I provided information on how you can get in contact with me. I provide holistic life coaching to help, and because I realize that even as a working professional, we have other things that we're linked to and tied to that may cause us to, you know, have a certain burden or be disappointed or sad, and because life is still life and we all experience life, and just being able to balance out those situations so we can still be able to give and help others. Here's a great article that you can use or just read, and about 15 ways to helping students become successful. And you can take some of this information, and I'm open to that if you want to utilize it in your newsletter for the new school year, or if you want to just discuss it with the parents, maybe a parent conference meeting. This information you might just want to share amongst yourself or with others. And also keep in mind, create a positive classroom, establish routines that will work habits and when students are first, worry about content later. You know, they want to be concerned about the students teaching organizational skills, helping the students too, because when you're organized and they're organized, everything runs so smooth. Where are the pencils located? Who is responsible for sharpening the pencils? Do you sharpen them? Do we have a particular hour we sharpen them? Is there particular bathroom break times? You know, so you can keep everything in sync. Do we have signals for bathroom breaks? Learning the students' names, that's always key. That you want them to know who you are, and they want to know that they're important as well. That's why I keep the name tags, and I encourage teachers to keep name tags on the desk, just so you become very much familiar with the students. Using a firm but soft voice, you know, talk to them in a way that encourages and motivates them. And begin each sentence with "you will" instead of, you know, "I can" or "you may not," but you will understand this information. You will be able to flourish and do well in this class setting. And I provided some ideas for you, classroom environment ideas, and there's so many you can use. But students are visual learners and they love to see something, and so if you have a guest to come in the room, or if you want to regain control of the classroom, let's say the students were doing an activity, you can say, "Okay, students, shine," you know, to sit up straight, holding hands folded in their own space, so you don't have them running around, ripping around, and a lot of movement and chaos, especially if they're in an activity which is causing movement already. Then no noise and eyes on speakers. And they love that. Shine is such a positive word. I tell you, I learned shine about maybe 9 years ago, and I still hear it. So I use it so much, and as I go into different classrooms to observe other teachers, if the teacher did not use shine, I encourage them to use it. But if they have their own technique, it's fine. But if I find that I have to help the teacher regain control, they know Dr. Torber's going to come in and say, "Shine." So I come in there, and if I realize she's struggling a little bit, and I give her a moment to kind of get it together she needs. But if it's of urgency, I'm like, "All right, boys and girls, shine." And they all eyes on me, and it's such a great feeling to just regain control, to have control of your community. Classroom management idea. This is great. It takes a lot of the nagging, and I really need this as a parent, as a mother myself, to not hear those constant, "Can I get a pencil? Oh, I need tissue. I got to go to the bathroom." So you hear that all the time. And so if there's not a set bathroom breaks, and you may have some emergencies, then I need to see some signals that takes away from all the additional extra voices in the classroom. And they give me 5. That's another unique one. I love that. We use that one in the cafeteria sometimes, and it's just awesome to just have everyone with their hands raised up in the air saying, "Give me 5." And, you know, to give me 5, and to just put their eyes on the speaker at that moment. This is an activity that you can take. You can use it through all grade levels, and it's called Cups. I created it a couple of years ago, and I thought it was so unique. And so during math class, I have a couple of teachers that have the cups on the desk, and because you find that you're using problem-solving strategies throughout really most of your math, and even in other subject areas. So they have the cups, and it's a cute little way to say, okay, we're in math instructions, a nice little visual to let the person know who's observing we're doing math, and that we're utilizing problem-solving strategy of cups and how to solve problems. So you can take that and use that as well. And I've listed some great websites for teachers, and there's always and even in different areas and states, I didn't list this, there's always so many giveaways during this time of year where you can get a little extra freebies and extra stuff and write grants, and it doesn't have to be anything lengthy, where you can get additional funding for your class and win a lot of things, whether it's money and activities, especially since we're moving now towards the science, technology, and engineering, mathematics, different things that help you to move those students up on a level. Remember, your parents are very key. You always want to have a very good rapport with them. Keep the doors of communication open with them. You always want to have some type of way of communicating with them. I love the idea of newsletters, but they like to receive a phone call. And just become aware of what your school expects from you. But even if the expectation is not set, do something to maintain that communication. I'm sorry, there was a question. Did I miss that? I thought I missed the question. I'm sorry. And I provided you a parent connection here. Parents, advocates, and allies, relationships and connection. Encouragers, notify, thank parents, stay active in the school community as well. Communicating with parents is a way you want to be proactive about it. Make sure you return phone calls. They want to know that they're important. And I find for myself, as a parent myself, it's best for me to do things right after school, right after the students are dismissed. Go ahead and take care of those key things that need to be done that I can do after school. If it's something that's very important I need to take care of during the school day, I usually do it during my planning. And the way to admit your mistakes is just having that open communication. We do make mistakes. We fall short at times, and we may miss something. And that's why it's important to journal. And there's a way to go about having the conversation, bringing the light and attention to yourself, and thanking them and appreciating their efforts as well as a parent, and that's an intricate part of the learning of the environment. And just having that rapport with them. Even if you feel like you're right about something, just having that rapport, because you got to maintain this relationship throughout the school year. This is very key, and this goes in the line with the journaling, but I even document everything because I correlate and correspond with those I work with through email. It's just key all the way around because people forget things, and I used to take it very personally, but then I realized, no, we just inundated with so much information. Let me keep my journal, let me keep my calendar, but let me also utilize my email. I'm documenting everything. I'm recording all information, even something that doesn't seem minor, because I don't want anything to come back on me and I can't prove it or provide information. So that's very key for them. As a new teacher, as a returning teacher, and especially those first few days, just document as much as you can. Just take a moment and just journal it and document your information. And keep those correspondence, keep your notes from your conversations, keep the student work, keep things for you, keep it organized, and keep it available so that you can refer back to it. Are there any questions? Okay, great. Well, a little bit about myself, and if you want to reach out to me, I'm always available. I've written now 21 books. I'm working on number 22. My apologies for not making that change in it right there, but that's good. And I've written some children books and some self-help books, as well as some spiritual books and novels, and just different things as I come across I feel like people needed more information about, and just my own inspirations that were given to me as well. And here's some websites where you can kind of follow me and see what I'm doing and what I'm up to. And I enjoy inspiring and encouraging others and helping others. And I'm that alligator. The eagle. I want everyone to be happy. I do have some deer characters as well. So I just want you to be happy and whole, and just know that if you didn't make it today and you missed it just by a little bit, tomorrow is always a better day for you, and you can get there. So if you need to contact me, feel free to contact me. I'm available, and I thank you so much for this opportunity. And just keep in mind, with preparing for that first day, the key thing is organization and preparation. Just be prepared, get everything in place, and then begin to organize your information so you can refer back to it. Thank you so much, Mandy, for this opportunity.
Well, thank you so much. This was wonderful. I could just listen to you all day. You're so excited about, and that's such a wonderful thing to see. And that's what we hope is happening for everybody, just that excitement in education and making that difference. And, you know, if you know anybody, you know that I'm always letting y'all know, if you know anybody who is wanting to take that path and become an educator, isn't quite sure if they are what they want from that, then send them to us. We'll see what we can do for them. We'll help them find out if that's the path for them or not, answer some questions for them that maybe it's kind of difficult to answer. And of course, if you do refer them and they start the program, we'll send you a $25 Visa gift card as a thank you. But even more on top of that is, you know, we're striving to be the greatest network of difference makers, and so we know that you can recognize that in a person, the same type of story that you had, maybe even better than we can at times, because you work with them, you know them in the everyday life. Maybe they're working in the school but they aren't certified yet, and you know that this is the best for them. So, you know, let us know if that's the case, and send them to us if you think they're interested, and we'll find out what they need. And I believe, Dr. G, you may have had another slide after this, which was an inspirational one. Check it. Yes, I loved this one.
And I appreciate Mandy made everything look so beautiful. I love this one. So I was going to print this one out and frame it. But the best light in the world is the light bulb that I see when the students I teach get it. It's that thing when they just get it. That light bulb lights up the world forever in all areas. So my thing is keep shining. There we go back to that word shine. But I love that when students get it and they look at you like, oh, I got it. Okay. But yes, keep shining, and as well as the teachers, just keep shining and do your thing, and everything is great. When you're ready, you prepare, and you're organized, you see how wonderful things are each day.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And, of course, I'm going to get this recording out for anybody who missed a part of it or kind of had to sign out or take their attention away, and also, of course, to share it with everybody else. So until next time, I will be posting up as we have more events, and y'all are obviously welcome to come join. And, Dr. G, you're welcome to. Do you want to stay on the line with me for a minute?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Oh, come on. I lost it. And stop.